Hey, what's going on? It's Adam here, and I want to welcome you to my channel. My goal is to help you become the financially fittest you. And I have my new book coming out called The 180 Inner Game Shifts to Financial Increase. There's action items with every chapter to help you master your money psychology. So it's not out yet, but if you want to get on the wait list for it, I'll put it in the description. But today, I want to talk about why entrepreneurs are usually bad at investing. See, as entrepreneurs, you're programmed to double and triple your returns. If you're making $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month, your goal is to get to 30 or 40. And so you rewire your brain to think bigger and to multiply investments. And so what happens is that you get into investing and you bring that same entrepreneur mentality. And so now instead of getting 13 or 15% returns, you're like, how do I get 40% returns? How do I get 20% a month? How do I double my money by the end of the year? And you start calculating, if I could double my money, then I could have this amount next year. And if I could double it again, I could have this amount next year. And you begin seeing the roadmap to wealth. The challenge, though, is that a lot of times entrepreneurs take that mindset into investing and they end up losing it all until they learn the lessons to be more conservative in their approach to investing. What do I mean by this? Well, I remember meeting a friend, and he came to me and he was like, Adam, he goes, I have an investment that's doing 20 to 40% per month. And he showed me his documentation. He ended up buying a house in Newport Beach with the money that he had made. And it was in crypto, in Forex. And there was a money manager who was getting these returns because of AI. He was trading in the algorithms. So he goes, it's a 6-figure buy-in. He goes, the goal would be minimum for you to make 20% per month. And so I'm doing the calculation. I'm like, 20% per month times 12, it's like 240% return, like minimum. That's the kind of return that I'm used to seeing if I'm going to invest because I get that in my business. Let me go ahead and move that over and see if we can make some magic here. And that investment ended up not even being a legit opportunity. It ended up crashing, and it ended up becoming a $500 million loss with investors from around the world who ended up trading with this guy, and it was never real the entire time. It was kind of like a Madoff type of thing. So I had lost 6 figures in that, trying to chase the high returns. And so as I talk to a lot of my entrepreneur friends, they experience a lot of these type of things where they're used to higher returns. So 13% per year sounds too boring. And so one of the things that entrepreneurs are usually prone to is they become they over-allocate to high risk. So now you're used to these high returns. So then you're like, I'm going to bet on this stock. I'm going to bet on this crypto coin. And so you move too much money because you get excited about the opportunity, because in business that rewards you. You see a marketing strategy and you're like, I'm going to invest into this strategy. Or you see a new way to grow your business. You're like, I'm going to invest in this aspect of the business, because you get in at a great time. And so you allocate a lot to it. The challenge, though, is that the reason why business is so different than investing is in business, you have control because you can will things to work with time and with effort and with wise decisions. But investing, you can't will the market to work. You don't have the ability to go in and manipulate the price. So what ends up happening a lot of times is you move a lot of money into an investment. And then what happens is, let's say it works. So now you take that, let's say you put in 50K as an example into an investment, and it works, and you double it to 100K. Now you think, oh my gosh, I figured it out. I just have to get in these type of stocks at this type of time. And if I can do that, then I can double my investments moving forward. So then you do it again when you have 100K, and it works again. And so now you get a 70% return, and you're like, oh my gosh, I now have 170 grand. If I keep doing this, I'll be a millionaire by this date. So then you take that 170 grand and you do it again. Except now, whatever you invested in crashes because it was a high risk investment. And so the principle is how you gain it is eventually how you lose it. So that is a hard principle for entrepreneurs to grasp, and they keep, oftentimes when they begin their investment journey, they keep losing money. And I remember that I felt invincible. I got into some stocks at a very great price, and I did so well. I got a 6x return on the stock Red Robin. I even made a YouTube video about it many years ago. And I was so excited. I took that investment, and then I invested into some other companies, and I felt invincible. And then eventually it started to catch up. I remember investing in the IPO Coinbase when it came out, and it was close to $400 when I invested in it, and the stock just completely tanked, right? So it's part of that journey is like, you're trying to grow, you're trying to steward your money, you're trying to multiply what you're given, and sometimes stewardship can feel like making the investment that's going to bring the greatest return. But stewardship and investing is different. And I'm going to give some next steps in a second here, but I want to just talk about this too, is that the nature of the entrepreneur is to fix whatever is broken. And this is another reason what creates bad investors and why entrepreneurs are typically not that great at investing is because, let's say, for example, the market dips, then you want to fix it. You're like, I don't want to lose money, so let me sell. So going back to that example of how I purchased Coinbase, I didn't want to lose anymore, so I sold because my emotions got involved. Because in business, if I'm losing money in an area of the business, I want to stop the loss. So you can become too emotional and too reactive, right? And these were very expensive lessons that I had to learn in my investing journey that led me to become a wise investor. Okay, so I want to be able to share some of these steps with you that have helped me, make wise investments. And then I also want to give you an opportunity to get access to my portfolio. I'm actually very proud of it because it's something that has taken me time to develop and the mindset to develop it and the research and experience to get to a place where I feel very confident and secure in my investing strategies today. But let me share with you a couple of things that I think will help you if you're an entrepreneur and you want to become a great investor. I think number one is you need to separate the roles in your mind. So your business is for acceleration, but your investing is for preservation and multiplication. So what does that mean exactly? Chase the 2x, 5x, 10x returns in your business and take that money and then put it into, and this is not financial advice, I want to be clear on that. I would put it into, my own decision is I would put it into something that's more 13%, 15%, 10% return. And so that I can be in a safe investment that's secure, because I would rather that money double over 7 years based off of market patterns than to try and go for a double and lose it all. Okay. Which leads us to our second principle. It's not about not taking high risk investments. It's about proper portfolio management. So for me, the way I like to think about my investments is the 40-40-20 rule. I like to do 40% in low risk, where I'm getting maybe like 4% to 6% return, just it's safe. The second one is I like to be able to have mid risk, which is anywhere from 8% to 15%. And then I like to have 20% into high risk. These are going to be the things that are 20% plus. And even then, I still like to be a little bit conservative on the high risk side, because the goal in investing is to preserve the money, is to make sure you don't lose it. Okay. So the principle here is that time in the market is better than timing the market. And sometimes as an entrepreneur, you want to hit the next big jackpot and you want to get the next best stock at the best price. And that is a great desire. But time in the market is better than timing the market means that even if you didn't time it perfectly, but you're patient and you let it ride and you allow compounding to take place, you're going to be a lot better off than if you just try to time it perfectly every time and then try to sell as soon as it goes up so that you can take your profits. So investing is a much longer term play, and it's slower, and good investing strategy is often boring, where business strategy is very fast. You get rewarded for speed, taking action when things are down, and it's very exciting, and there's a lot of momentum, and you have a lot more control, and you can go from win to win to win. Investing is a lot slower, it's a lot more boring, and it's a lot more long term. So separate the roles in your mind of what your business is for and what your investing is for, so that you can make wiser decisions, because we've got to be able to allow compounding to do its job. And so there's a verse, it's Proverbs 13 verse 11, and it says that wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. Okay. So this book tells us that as we go after getting rich quick, that it dwindles, right? And so how you make it is how you lose it. And that is why time in the market in wise investments is the play to preserve and multiply long term. So you might go, well, Adam, what about investing in my business? Here's the principle when it comes to that. I think your business deserves the investment until you can get a salary large enough to pay for your investments. So what does that mean exactly? I think that if you're in a place where you don't have a lot of money to invest, you should keep investing back in your business, aiming for the 2x, 5x, 10x returns until you get a salary large enough to then pay yourself a portion into those investments that you can then manage conservatively. And I know it's not the most exciting topic, but I'm telling you from experience, and not only from me, but from all the other entrepreneurs that I've been around, many times they end up losing, eventually taking high risk investment after high risk investment. So allow money to compound. Follow a principle. You can use my principle, the 40-40-20 rule, so that you're more conservative, but you still position yourself for some high risk, especially if you're younger. You can take maybe a little bit more into those higher risk options. But, we want to be able to make sure that we separate the roles. Let your business be the one for generating income and your investments be for preserving and multiplying. So I want to be able to share that with you because I want you to help you become the financially fittest you. I want you to have the right psychology to win. I don't want you to make costly mistakes that cause you to blow money. Learn from my expensive mistakes on things that I've messed up on because I didn't know. When you don't have money and you don't come from money, you make foolish decisions, right? And I've made foolish decisions, and it's what has allowed me to become a wise investor today. But I've had to go through so many expensive lessons that I want you to avoid. So I'm going to be actually sharing my entire portfolio, what I do in our university. It's coming up. It's called Financial Increase University. It's not ready yet. It's going to be dropping about mid-April 2026. So if you want to get on the wait list for that, for the book, I'll go ahead and put it in the description below. And if you like this conversation, I just want to encourage you to subscribe. And if you're listening to the podcast, leave a 6-star review. I know there's only 5 stars, but leave an extra star. And I want to just thank you so much for being with us. And I'm so excited for your growth and in this journey to become the financially fittest you. Thanks for watching.